Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM. And if you're enjoying what you're seeing on the channel at the moment, then remember the links to our social media and things like our Teespring store where you can buy things like this rather attractive hoodie are in the video description. And I'm currently sat on top of my digger, which must mean that it's time for What's Broken Now. As most of you in the UK are probably aware, it has been rather cold of late, and that has somewhat hampered what we can actually get on with up here in the shed. Now, the shed itself doesn't normally go below freezing. In fact, there's a bottle of water up here that has yet to turn solid, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't been pretty damn cold. And we have been up here wearing, well, about 6 layers in order to, well, not freeze to death. And I don't know if you've ever tried working in a large open barn when there's no heating and try to get on with stuff, but it's not too much fun. That said, we have managed to get on with some stuff. Now, if you cast your mind back to the last episode of What's Broken Now, I sent off my beloved 106 and my new acquisition Atlas off to my friends to have a bit of looking at. And this month, I got the phone call that they were ready for collection. So I headed back off to my friends. And whilst I was there, they showed me something that they'd been working on, which is this really awesome old school generator. And of course, I asked, could we fire it up?
No, I just didn't get it enough. It's cold, isn't it? Ain't been started.
It is cold.
Okay.
Feeling fairly fired up about this wonderful piece of ancient technology, we went and had a look at what they'd actually been up to on my vehicles. My beloved 106 has now had the welding it required done. So that means that's, well, one of its many issues dealt with. And Atlas, well, they took apart the transformer charging magic box.
Why has it got a circuit board? Well, why does that lift off easy? It must be a reason for that.
Well, there's access, isn't it?
Access to all of whatever that is.
The mains fuse on there.
Yeah. Lay it down so I can see what's going on.
Like if that it was working, that then releasing a wire on it somewhere is, yeah, moving it around, loosen that wire somewhat. Because again, the first time we plugged it in, you got the kind of the hum, the hiss from batteries that they were charging. You don't understand how that comes out, do you?
It's on nuts and bolts.
Right. 4 or 5 hours should be enough.
Right.
From dead flat.
And declared that it now works. And so it charges, Magic Box works, so I can just plug it in as I should. And that of course meant that I had to load both vehicles back onto the trailer and then trundle home. Might need to run up with that.
It's not so much the pushing, it's more the way it bounces.
That was deceptively easy. Both things went onto the trailer quite happily, with the wooden ramp flexing in its normal terrifying manner. And I hope I don't really need to do that too many more times. I mean, it's now only if I take the tug out for show. I've strapped them down and I'm now on my way back to the shed. The only downside is I've been chatting to the chaps who've undertaken the repairs and put the patch in the 106 and got that tug's now being at 100% charge. And I should have been at the shed now, and I'm a while away. Let's just leave it at I'm a while away. But it's a good start. That's 2 vehicles that have actually moved forward. And I know, guys, I know that's scary for us here at LMM. I know we're not very good at moving forward with stuff, but move forward we have. They are, well, the tug's actually now fully functional, which is amazing. So if I can get it back to the shed, then and offload it safely, yeah, that will be a fully functioning, totally useless vehicle for us to have. Touchdown! So as I've mentioned, it has been rather cold around here recently, and I thought one of the best things I could do would be go round to some of the vehicles that haven't been started for a while, particularly those with a big old engine, and give them a cold start. So, of course, that means I had to start with Jupiter. Now, there are a couple of comments in the last What's Broken Now that we didn't see anything of this thing, and I kind of went, well, we'd seen it out at Christmas, but here's Jupiter, and it's the middle of winter, so we're just going to give her a cold start and let her run for a little bit and just make sure everything's okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is just open up this, pull out the dipstick, long dipstick, and make sure there is indeed, yeah, there's oil on that, that's what we care about. There is some oil, and it shouldn't have gone anywhere, but I do like to check there is actually something on the dipstick. And she's normally pretty good with that first reading, so enough. That's the theory. Now, one thing I don't have at the moment is cold start's not working. Now that is one of the most long and difficult starts I've had with her for a while. But she did fire up, and I left her running for, I left her running for quite a while because I got offered a cup of tea by my landlady. So I headed down and had a socially distanced chat and forgot the thing was running and came back about 15 minutes later being, what's that noise in the, oh, Jupiter. So she's had a good run and warmed everything up and seems to be okay. And then, as it was cold, on one of the coldest days before the snow happened, somebody had an idea that maybe we should try and start Humpty again. People have suggested other ways of starting this thing. I am unconvinced, like my own way, so.
But you haven't even tried them. There you go. You got a flat! That's quite a bad flat. It's very flat.
I'll go get the top. Of course, once we'd started Humpty, we decided to carry on with that theme of vehicles that haven't really featured on the channel for a while. Of course, that means we're going to take a look at Cheb, and it'd been so long since we'd last done anything with a tractor, I couldn't actually remember what it was or wasn't doing. So after a quick discussion where all our memories were actually different, we decided the best thing we could do is just turn it over and see what happened. Right.
This is a bad idea.
Well, I just want to see if we get anything happening. So theoretically, this should fire this up.
Everything we do is a bad idea.
Do I need to push as well?
I don't know, but it did work.
How many pushes do you think it will need?
Maybe that isn't right. I don't know. That should just join that. But that smells just of...
What, burning electrics?
Yeah.
I wonder why it smells of burning electrics.
I don't know. Strange though, isn't it? I mean, that should... If you push that across now, that should activate that, but it doesn't want to. So if I connect it to that... Oh, that sounded better, didn't it?
Yeah, that turned.
Okay, so so the start mode is working, but it's
You need to engage it.
Yeah.
Push
Yeah.
that in.
Yeah.
In?
it was just spinning. It's not actually going into the engine.
Right, so get the feel. Okay. So
What's the verdict?
It's low compression.
The verdict is I shouldn't have pushed that handle when I did.
Yeah, that made a horrible noise.
Oh, I don't want to go in there!
But what it means is I'm going to go get the spanner and just take the exhaust
I'm looking
off
at one.
Yeah.
and chuck some SE30
Why not take the intake off and do it in there instead?
because looking at the intake looks a lot more questions.
Because you're lazy.
Well, because I've got bolts there, and I don't know if I can get to the bolts around the back of it. Whereas the exhaust is the same. It does the same thing, doesn't it?
Oh no, it's got that weird air.
Yeah, it won't go into it. But if I just stick a bit of oil in there, we should increase the compression, and then it should go because it's turning over healthy like.
Right, healthy once.
Healthy-like.
Once we performed the ritual to get it to work by holding this cable here, pushing this lever down here, and then praying it doesn't kill itself.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Healthy. This is a healthy vehicle.
That was better than it was.
Yeah.
It's the healthiest it's been in years.
Well, it turned over.
With a lot of fire and smoke and it's sparking.
Arcing.
I'm going to go take...
And you nearly leaving it in gear as well. Would have been hilarious.
I forgot it was in gear.
Kaboom!
Cool. Right, I'm going to try that.
And following turning it over, I thought maybe adding some oil into the air intake would improve the compression slightly, and maybe, just maybe, it would fire up.
So really what should happen after last night's attempt was that we went, it coughed, it's kind of alive, it wants to work. And most people would be happy with that. And though everybody else disagrees and thinks it's knackered, I think there's life left in this. So I think we're going to whip this off and we're going to see if there's any life left in it and we can actually get it to fire up. That's what I think anyway. We undo this thing. I literally have no idea what this is. Something to do with air feed coming in from pump. I don't know. Fuel injection? No, that's going through that. No idea what this is. Maybe it is on the pump. There's a... Some of these pumps apparently have a cold start button. And if I knew where it was on this, I can't help but feel it's something to do with that. There's like a button you press somewhere for cold start. Can't see it. Don't know. Maybe, I'm pretty sure this is something to do with cold start for chucking fuel in. No, it's just not going to go in there. something there. Just better than it was. Now, finally, engage and. Not quite enough, it would appear. Sadly though, despite all of my optimism, the little tractor would not go. On the plus side, we have now remembered and worked out what is wrong with it, and as I think we had decided before, it needs an engine rebuild. We need to at least take the head off and work out why there is no compression on cylinders 2, 3 and 4. But that's something for another day. Now you may have noticed that I'm sitting on top of Viking, and you may be thinking, well, is there progress with the digger that you, the LMM community, helped to buy? No, sadly not. The battery's charged up, but it's still got various bits missing that were taken off several months ago, and really it hasn't progressed any further because we've been working on other things. So you might remember last month that we had a great success and took an engine out of a car. And well, we decided to do that again, this time on my NX. So having recovered part of the gearbox after it was ceremoniously destroyed, we realised that it's time to do a bit of repair work to the NX. There's a couple of bits in here which aren't too shabby looking. Now, they are the bits down there where it's all gone crusty and needs a bit of attention, and here where you can see there used to be a piece of metal that went underneath the radiator, which is not there anymore. So the idea is if we take the engine out, we can get to these crusty bits, give it all a bit of a touch up, and hopefully generally improve matters on the car. That is the hope. Oh God. Oh, I am. Wow, that was thickly cool. Green. Green cool. Silly little tie there. So that's that. So now we can remove the radiator. I'll just stick it over here. Still full of water. So that goes onto there, and we can just move that enough to pull that line off. Explain to it, thank you, that it will come off. And there's a vacuum line underneath it. Right. Six for safekeeping. Just down here you can see that it's rust still got in across the front there. So all that needs, I don't think that's anything too bad. Let's get the pokey stick and have a look. No, that's all wire brushy, so all I need to do is pick a new foot in that side and then join it, so the foot goes there and then join it to that piece there. That shouldn't be too bad. Do we though take the whole engine and make it easier so I can get in here and clean everything? Let's have a look at how complex that'll be. Then, just swing that around.
I see what you can do.
But I can't get the button thing to come out. It's like half out and now it's stopped.
Oh, it just needs wiggling. Just come in.
Okay. Apart from that, it's very nice. Right, that can be pulled out then. It's almost ready to be lifted.
Do you know what an issue is right now, Lawrie? The crane is not centrally over the end. It needs to be pushed a little bit more in. But we can deal with the slack by just jacking it. So I think that's fuck it. Let's do this. Do you want me to take the crane off before we start touching the box?
Well, they're fine. That one's relatively fine.
The funny thing is we have a ramp, which would have made this so much easier.
Yeah, but whose piece of garbage is on there? Is it another blue vehicle by any chance?
It is, yes.
Oh, wonderful. Can you get this done so we can go and buy things?
Yes.
Please?
Now I'm working on it.
You're going to make me push it off the ramp though, aren't you?
Where's the other ratchet? Am I?
Yeah, it's underneath your head. Hold on. Just a big cable over your face. Let's move that out of the way.
So how did you spend your 30th? Well, underneath a rusty pile of...
It's not your 30th.
Oh, 31st. Oh, God.
It's not, and to be fair, it's not yet. You've still got, what, like...
Hours.
12 hours?
Oh, it's so cold on my fingers.
Well, it is -3 today, so, you know. I've got a lovely ice cold Pepsi up here. Just enjoying it.
Can we say Pepsi?
Sponsored by Pepsi Max.
Oh, is that out? And I just need to knock it out the rest of the way, or?
It looks out. I can't see the bot on this side anymore.
Because I'm turning.
Try pulling it. Wiggle. It's definitely wiggling the mount. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Do you know what I think?
What's that, Matt?
I think if we started lifting it, it'd come out easy. Oh, there you go. Good job. Good job, Lawrie. Well done. Well done. Good job.
It was a good job. Why are you being sarcastic about it when
Not being-
I've done something right and you're still being sarcastic?
I'm telling you, good job. Why can you not take a compliment?
Why can't you just do it in a way that makes me feel validated? Because we're an old couple. This is how old couples argue.
I might just take some wisdom. Get the screwdriver in the top or a chisel and just.
With these.
That was a very, very short-lived try with that tool, wasn't it?
It was never a serious attempt.
That was a oh no way. And he's going to throw all the tools under the car.
Yep.
Doesn't work.
That worked though.
Nice.
Yeah, I've
Is that
got it. I've got it.
One left to go.
Oh, no.
Oh, surely, can we rock the engine? This one did not overthink that, surely.
I think there's a little bolt in there which looks like it's seized in there as well. That will take this mounting plate off.
You sure you don't want the disc cutter?
Yes.
Jesus, with all the light coming from behind you. It looked like
It's okay, my child. We shall succeed.
fuck you, Nissan!
Oh, that sounds rotten.
It's not going to work.
Oh, yeah.
You do not have the quickness and the dexterity to complete this task.
What I'm trying to do is taking the pipe off here, which is power steering fluid, here, and taking the pipe off the bottom. I'm going to put this over the end, cable tie it on, so it doesn't go everywhere.
So what he's actually doing, viewers, is emptying his power steering reservoir fluid on the floor.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh, it looks like it's leaking all over your hand there.
Shut up.
Is it leaking out the other side as well?
Shut up.
It's not even vaguely working.
It's working really well.
No, it's not. What if the glove's got a hole in it?
Oh, I would hate you forever if it had.
Well, it was one of your like manky ones on the floor.
However,
I can still see it pouring out. It's just pouring off.
no, it's not.
It is. I can see the trail of fluid going down the glove.
No, it's not. That's fine. That's just stuff that's dribbled before I tightened it up.
Don't pretend like that was a success.
That's a huge success. I've lubricated my hand.
Yeah,
Is power steering fluid bad for your hands?
probably. But it's just an oil, so you know.
Yeah, but I mean, technically, brake fluid's just an oil.
No, it's not. That's cancer juice. That is.
Shouldn't laugh at that. That's not funny.
Yes, it is. It's why you laughed. It's still leaking out, by the way.
That's fine.
I can hear it hitting the floor.
That's just the bit that it came out with a big blob, but I don't actually think it's leaking anymore. I legitimately don't think it is.
That's not a success. I'm not calling that a success. A success is not, for example, fuel cable tied off with a glove, or power steering fluid cable tied off with a glove. Yes. I also noticed that you have only cable tied one end, which means when we pick it up, it's going to drip everything everywhere still.
Nah, it's fine. No. Oh yeah, I mean, if there's a thing there to lift it, you're doing.
I'm really strong.
Yeah, look at you go. Is it attached to anything, or are we?
No, it's like getting caught on like weird nonsense cables.
Okay, but yep, keep going.
As long as we don't hit the.
No, you've still got plenty of space, and what you can do is drag it back slightly. In fact, hold on. Let's move the
light. Hold on.
Well, what you can do now is drag back slightly. Yeah. Yeah. So head back slightly now. To you. A bit more.
No, that's much.
Okay. Yeah. Up you go. Up you go. Up you go.
You remove
there.
The bonnet strap.
What? It's okay. The bonnet strap's not in the way.
No. Yeah, but we're
Just go back.
just catching the exhaust.
Tap.
One more pump and it'll be out.
Yeah, but you are actually. It's there, I think. Is that out? Oh my god. One more, because you're caught. One more pump up.
I don't think you can do another pump up. We might need to manhandle that.
No, you're there. Back we come.
Oh, we're caught.
Are we?
Oh, we didn't unplug that one.
What was that? Oh!
We didn't unplug that one.
Oh dear. I'll just. I think we pulled the car forward on the wiring loom.
Ooh, yeah, no, that's not good.
And once we had successfully removed the engine and the gearbox, much quicker and much more efficient than our attempt before, we loaded it up onto the trailer. The only problem being that I'd forgotten the cable that plugs in to give power to the winch. So that meant we had to push it.
Can you hold it and I'll position myself around the side so the handbrake
Yep.
need a bit more?
Yep, no, that's good.
No, let's push a bit more first.
Oh, it needs steering because it's going to go off on my side.
Right, you definitely got it? Yep. It's going to go off your side.
Needs to go to your side a bit.
Yep, there. Right now.
I can't see, I'll just get it on. Yeah, straight down. Oh.
Well done, man. How did you put your back up doing the MR2 but not doing that?
Oh, it's all hurting there, don't worry. Right, get straight.
And so off the NX went to be delivered, hopefully to get itself welded up and have another car hopefully making progress. Well, that is sorted and elsewhere at the moment. Now, I guess the question that most of you are asking is, as Atlas come back, is it actually any good now? Is it better? Is it actually going to be the vehicle that I wanted to be able to help us in the shed moving things about? Well, we wanted that too. And we thought, well, the most logical thing to do with it is, let's see if it will move Jupiter.
Right. Oh, I don't like this. Forward.
Right, I've turned the power on.
I put mine forwards.
Okay.
What?
First of all,
Is my wheel straight? Yes.
lights on, blue lights on.
Oh, is that a warning system?
Yeah. Right, if I get into trouble, I'll do the Team America system.
I won't be looking at you though.
Okay. Right. Handbrake is off.
Right.
It should be free.
Right.
It might.
That's definitely off. That sounds like your brakes are off now.
There might not be enough air in it, to be honest.
It's trying.
Let's see if I give the brakes a boost.
for cheating.
Alright, yeah. Brakes are off.
Right. Done it. Yes!
Stop it!
It doesn't stop you very well, no. That might be our mounting system, though.
It could be the brakes on the tug as well. Let's be honest though, monumental success!
It moved. Will it move Jupiter back?
Right, brakes coming off. All yours.
Okay. I think I'll get a wheel spin.
It might be. Hold on.
What?
Let me charge the arrow again.
Yeah. Bit more.
Now, I don't believe it, and it's a rare thing to happen on this channel, but what we have is, I would say, monumental success in the regard that I don't think Atlas will stop Jupiter.
I would say no success.
It pulled it.
It did pull it. However, what was the entire idea of getting the tug and getting the compressor hooked up to Jupiter?
Ah, yes.
So we wouldn't have to start it to get it to move, but it still won't release its brakes without we being on.
No. But it might have done. I don't know.
It's that compressor, I think,
Yeah, I think if we had a bigger compressor,
which could push higher PSI into the
all
tank.
it's done is it gets the buzzer off,
Yeah.
but Jupiter needs a little over the buzzer to release, because I only have to run it for a
Right.
few seconds to get it off.
Yeah.
So it is on our, where's the compressor? It's over there now. It is on our to-do list, isn't it, to get a new
good
better
compressor, yeah,
because we've got
definitely.
air tools now, we've got paint guns that we want to use. So the next big thing we need to buy is a good compressor. So if we plug that in, that would work.
The tanks will have enough, yeah. But it does actually move Jupiter.
What I have bought, amazingly, in possibly an element first, is a functioning vehicle which does what we bought it for.
Bought it?
Given it for. So, yes, this is given. This is a freebie. So, thank you very much for our wonderful tug, which works exactly as it was meant to, with amazingly minimal amount of effort.
Minimal effort, but some caveats at the moment. So
Some
we need a
caveats.
bit of working on it.
But the thing is, if it pulls the 11-ton vehicle,
It will probably turn the 7.5-ton vehicle.
oh yeah, the lighter one,
Yeah.
which means we can get that out. It also means that everything else in here that's got wheels on, no longer do we have to struggle and push things around.
Provided we can work out some mounting system, because the bar is
The bar's overkill, but we could just put a rope around a turret.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, the bar was just the bar came with it. As I was like, oh, the bar would be.
We
useful.
could stop things as well,
Yeah.
but we can't stop things as well.
Yes, but with these, we could just use towing eyes.
I wonder if I could stop you by going into reverse.
Possibly. I don't want to overstress the motor. Look, we've just got it working.
Let's not break it. Yeah.
Oh, so on the subject of this thing, now we've got it working. We found out, thanks to you wonderful guys, somebody got in contact and they sent me a manual for it, so we know the prep for it. And
Oh, what? So I can be an authorised driver
we
now?
have the book.
I can read the manual and
Yes,
actually be
so we
allowed
can
to
drive
use it.
As someone who's had the manual, I consider myself an authorised driver, and I now consider you an authorised driver.
Oh, was this my exam?
This was your exam.
Okay,
Congratulations, you've passed.
Thank you very much.
So, things we found out about it is it's a TOER, which
TOER.
wonderfully, it's a TOER. It's brilliant. It's the best name of anything. And this one came from the BBC studios at Elstree Studio, I think it was.
We think.
Yeah. Well, that's,
There's so many people who are like, oh, I remember those working on the railways. I remember those for Royal Mail. So I'm personally not convinced,
No.
but BBC sounds good. So I'll go with it.
this is where it came from, because it was BBC. Well, at least it was in a scrapyard. That it was scrapped by the BBC. The guy I got it off got it out the scrapyard.
Yeah.
Never got it to work. Was going to send it back to the scrapyard, and then gave it to me. And we brought life back into it, and she's
Saved it.
saved. And as people have said, there's not many of these in preservation because basically they don't break. They just keep on going. They're designed for putting stuff around. They only get scrapped if like a company shuts down and nobody wants to buy them.
Yeah.
And as it's something from the 80s, it's one of those things where companies will just go, I don't want it anymore, and just get rid of it. So,
but it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So we know a bit of the history now. We know what it is. It seems to be absolutely fine. I'm looking for a couple of lights. It should have some lights down there on the front.
It's already got a light.
It's got the added LED. It should have lights on the back as well, marker lights.
Right.
And it looks like at one point it had a windscreen wiper up there.
Yeah, bolted to the front. And maybe a cabin light as well.
There's a big bolt through that. In fact, that's one of the bolts for the battery.
Oh.
No, the battery top light. So it should have had a windscreen wiper, and I imagine that's what the missing switch is for.
Yes. No, that's some other form of light. That's got a light panel on it. Light there.
Oh yeah, maybe. We still got some things to do with it, but basically,
it works.
Yeah.
Which is more than can be said for most of your vehicles. In fact, your 2 working vehicles are actually tied together right now.
Do we just make a train?
I mean, technically. You now own a road train.
It's disconnected. No. Not having this. Not being part of it.
It turns out that Atlas is actually exactly what we wanted. It will move the big red thing, which means it will move everything else in here. It is going to be an exceptionally useful little thing, and I am very much in love with it. I think it's wonderful. We've also had progress with the MR2. Finally, I managed to get the exhaust back together again.
I mean, be frank, over what we need to put in there.
What?
Put more than you need to, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
You obviously put the things on, haven't you?
What?
You put the gaskets over.
I've just put them on now. I'm putting a layer underneath the gaskets and a layer on top of the gaskets.
Okay, nice. What's supposed to be then?
Yeah, the whole thing covered in paste, but it's just because where it really is spread out. 'Cause you don't want it too thick, because it'll blow if it's too thick.
It's quite thick on there, but...
Yeah, the problem is if you get it too thick, is it's not actually like a solid material, so it will like blow through effectively.
I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. That one over there, I've managed to squeeze it down quite a lot.
I just want to make sure there's not too much actually inside the exhaust.
Sorry, we'll just change the air.
Good thing about exhaust paste, it doesn't really dry in there because it needs the heat to cure it.
Well, we'll put it all back together and then we'll run it up next week or next time.
Are we going to trust you to use your mind strength to tighten these?
I'll put a little turn on them. Try to avoid what's happened with a...
Several of the bofts.
Yeah.
Most of the exhaust on MR2s.
Yep, well, I'm thinking more about the one I sheared on the 106.
Yeah, or the one you shared on the Turbo 2.
Oh god, yeah. Oh, it's knackered, isn't it? I forgot about that. It sounds like a normal 2 again.
So finally, I've managed to sort the exhaust. Not a garage, me. I've got it back. For the first time in my ownership, I have sorted the problem with the exhaust. And so the engine's still not running quite right. And I suspect and hope that it needs a good run to clear out the cobwebs. And it is a high mileage engine. But it's better. And that has given me the motivation to move on with the car and deal with some of the issues that it's still got, including the fact that I started poking the sill, and the sill is very, very rotten. More rotten than I first thought. So that's going to have to be cut out and replaced at a later date. You know, you make some progress, take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's basically the story of everything in here. But we have got some more equipment. A friend of ours got in contact and they've offered us their compressor. So we've gone from having a tiny one to this. Which admittedly was very full of water. Now this thing is going to give us a lot more potential for what we can do in here. It will actually power some of the air tools we've got. We've got a needle gun, we've got an air chisel, we've got an air polisher, and also we've got spray guns, and this thing has the capacity, means we can actually look at setting up a spray booth and actually fixing some of the terrible, terrible paintwork that's on, well, actually everything that I own. That's a huge step forwards for us and something that is quite exciting. And of course, last on my list is the 323. Yes, my mum's car that I've been borrowing because everything of mine's broken. Oh, that had a slow puncher. I know what you're thinking. Well, why is that a problem, Lawrie? You just take the cap off and put some air into it. Yeah, this thing's got stupid metal caps and couldn't get the thing off.
Right, I reckon if you can grab onto that there,
Yeah.
slightly better.
What you want to do is tighten those up as much as you can.
Yeah, they are on minimum.
Yeah.
Even that or a really good pair of tyres on the base.
Also, you might.
You're still on the cap there, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say you might be better off getting the small ones in there.
Like these ones on there, like.
Yeah, because you can actually get them in, and the big ones on the outside.
If you want to put those ones, I'll swap you.
Yeah.
Stupid design. Nope.
Yeah, there's just not a fucking room there, is there?
That should be good though. Nice.
I'll tighten them up some more.
Well, I'm twisting on, I'm not slipping.
Yeah, it's coming. I think they just sheared the valve off inside.
Is that twisting?
It does.
There we go. There we go. Job's a good one.
What?
That's the top off.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just that the rest of it has stayed on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we can get a new valve in now at the very least, can't you?
Well, I can just drive it around now. I know it's knackered. The boys said if I take it up there, they'll sort it for us.
Yeah.
But at least I can put some air. I'm just going to leave this off because it's now.
It's going to be a pain to get air in now because you're not going to be able to get it sealed because half of the cap's still on, isn't it?
No, that is the cap come off. The whole thing's come off. That's what it is.
Is it?
It's just a metal.
Oh, it's. I thought it was like a longer one.
Yeah, so did I. But apparently, looking at it, it doesn't.
'Cause I thought that just sheared halfway up.
Yeah, so did I. But when I looked in there, I was like, oh shit, this is all right. Yeah.
Following that monumental success of engineering and removing it, that basically brings you up to speed with everything of mine. And so guys, that's it. That basically brings us to the end of what we've been up to this month. There is definitely progress going on. Vehicles have moved around, things have come back, and of course, something that I bought, well, got given, something that turned up, has turned out to actually be useful and what we actually intended it to be, which is possibly a first on the channel. So with that guys, I really hope you've enjoyed watching this one. Thanks for joining us, and of course, if you haven't already, give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, leave a comment. What are you most excited to see progress with? Did you think Atlas was going to pull Jupiter? Let us know below. Of course, thank you for watching. And with that, if you have enjoyed this one, how about clicking over there somewhere for the last episode of What's Broken Now? Or down there for a random other video of my choice at some point in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. Have you ever done that thing where you climb up somewhere and then you get here and you don't know how to get down?